coming to the stage. She has been featured in the Otis Mountain Festival and once opened for Solomon, Georgia. Let's give a warm Dow Comedy Studio welcome for Maddy Hyams.
Hey y'all, how we doing tonight? Yeah, keep it going for JK. This is actually only my second time up since the whole thing, so I'm a little nervous, but it's honestly super refreshing to be scared of something that's not a hug. I'm new to LA. Thanks. Been here for like 5 days now. I like it. I like it so far. Thank you. I've been receiving a lot of text messages since I got here, so many more than I did previously. They are all notifications of nearby vehicular arson. But a girl's got to take what she can get. Am I right in this town? I didn't come here to like make it big or anything, but having been here for a few days, I can see why people come here to make it and end up failing most of the time. And that's because of those horrendous stop sign entrance ramps to get on the freeway. Like, oh my god, you guys. Every single time, it's like a pinball fever dream that I can't wake up from. Like, I can imagine getting the audition of a lifetime. You've got your lines memorized, you're rearing and ready to go. You pull up to one of those bad boys and you're like, the family farm needs me. My dreams are dust. I moved here from Vermont, which is like that way. Pretty much right over there. And in case you didn't know, Vermont is the birthplace of both Ted Bundy and my inability to feel anything at all. No, it's not a terrible place. It's just one of those places where absolutely nothing happens and everyone's craving to get out of there. Like, even the most tried and true Vermonter I've ever met, Bernard F. Sanders. He's like, forget being mayor, get me a job where I can travel. I need to use my Delta points. Smart man, smart man. And yes, that was my certified organic Bernie impression. I know you were wondering. That was mine. Last place I traveled before this whole thing was Ireland. And Ireland is a really nice place to travel if you're from Vermont, because the people there hate themselves but they love foliage, you know? Like, both of us appreciate the finer things in life, which are a Prozac and a good rolling hill. That's all you really need in this town. When you get off the plane in Ireland, they're not putting a lei around your neck and handing you a glass of fruit punch, they're actually just punching you. Different kind of vibe. My main motivation for going to Ireland was to visit the Titanic Museum in Belfast. Has anyone been there? Yeah? Alright, well, for the rest of you, just for some context, the people in Belfast love the Titanic. They're super proud of it, and in their defense, it was in pristine shape when it left here. Like, I would be proud too. And it begs the question, do they know? Right? Did anyone tell them, do they know? The Titanic Museum is a sight to behold. It's actually called the Titanic Experience, out of respect, I'm assuming. Yeah, right. Speaking of respect, there is a roller coaster inside the building that takes you on a fantastic journey through time and space. And I know you folks were wondering, they do sell crop tops in the gift shop. I want you to know. They say class of 1912. And just to clear something up really quickly, I don't have enough self-confidence to make fun of myself on stage, so I'm moving forward with making fun of a boat that's sunk. And that's just something we're going to have to sit with here. The worst part about the whole Titanic thing, in my personal experience, was the string quartet that sort of decided to just keep playing and go down with the ship, right? Like, that is the ultimate act of glaring toxic masculinity. And honestly, the reason why I will never date a boy in a band. So I was recently dating a boy in a band. Just kidding. I did recently have a suitor. I feel like you have to call it a suitor during a pandemic. Yes. Like medieval vibes, right? Yeah. So I was hanging out with my suitor, and all of a sudden he said, wait, do you have an IUD? And I said, yes, the copay was $200. I accept cash or check. Thank you so much for offering. Such a gentleman. And he was like, no, I think it just stabbed me. And I was like, okay, do you want a medal? Do you want a Band-Aid? Like, what avenue are we trying to go down here? And then I looked down at my IUD and I said, great job, gal. You did just what we talked about. I did end up going to the gynecologist just to make sure that everything was okay with that situation, also just because I felt so bad for him. And I was at the gynecologist. She gets out her transvaginal uterine device. Now, for those of you who haven't had a transvaginal uterine ultrasound, those of you, I should say, who haven't had the euphoria of having this device in your person, I guess is the best way to put it. Imagine a Hitachi wand, but sterile and so cold. It's like, ask me to dinner first. After a very sexually confusing, like 3 to 4 minutes, she and I determined that the rumors are true. I do have a medically small vagina. Thank you so much. Small and shallow wins the race. To put it in the clinical terminology that she used, having sex with me is like bringing a pillow pet to a sword fight. And I think that's beautiful. For those of you who are worried about my suitor, I'm sure there are many, he's doing fine. He's on bed rest. Wound is elevated. Alternating hot and cold compress. Oxygen, blood pressure are good for now. It's touch and go. But for now, we're all set. My gynecologist, Maria, I love her. She's this beautiful, like, Italian goddess. I love the way she pronounces all the STDs I have. Gorgeous. Her one downfall is her fingernails are so long. So long. She actually uses them to collect samples, which I think is really innovative. Good for the environment. Keeps those pap smear swabs out of landfills, right, ladies? It's like, get on up there, Maria. Arrivederci. I don't know what that means, but it felt right. I was at my annual breast exam right before quarantine happened, which is great. We love breast health in this family. And Maria had invited a med student into the room for that particular day. I'm going to wait for the plane. It's a helicopter. Do you guys have that app that tells you every time there's a helicopter overhead? Yeah. It's so alarming. The notification sound they use sounds like a crumbling building. I have been jolted awake far too many times in the past 5 days. Okay, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So I was at my breast exam. Maria, my gynecologist, and the med student. Naturally, they each take one boob, you know? It's efficient, 2 birds, 2 stones. And just to paint the picture for you, because I know you'd like to see it, we've got Maria on the left. She's kind of latched, as they say in the industry. And then the med student, let's just call her, just off the top of my head, Thor. We're going to go with that. On the right-hand side, just absolutely going to town. Like, if there wasn't anything wrong before with right boob, boy, vey. She was like the Jaws of life, you know? Like, I wouldn't necessarily trust her for my next annual breast exam, but would I trust her to untrap me from a wrecked vehicle? 100%. I'll leave you guys with this. I'm Jewish. Okay. Awkward. Before I got an IUD, I did have to briefly convert to Christianity for a short stint, so I could ask Santa for Plan B. There just isn't really anyone in Judaism who can bring that to you, besides maybe Elijah. But you have to leave the door open, and it's this whole thing. It's inconvenient. That was for one person. No, I did take Plan B once last year. I was going to, not take it, just let nature kind of do its thing, take its course. But then in the morning, the guy called me bruv. Like B-R-U-V, bruv. And I realized that that child would grow up thinking the Titanic was still afloat. Thank you guys so much. I've been Maddy Hyams.
One more time for Maddy Hyams.